This is the tragic tale of the Mary Celeste. A story that's been called one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. Picture this! December 1872. A commercial American sailing ship is spotted drifting silently in the Atlantic Ocean. No distress flags, no signs of struggle. Just a ship moving steadily and completely unmanned. To this day, no one knows for certain what happened to the people on board. And yet, the ship's name has lived on in legend. The Mary Celeste. Now, let's rewind a little. October 1872. Captain Benjamin Briggs, a respected and disciplined sailor, prepares for a long voyage. He boards his vessel, the Mary Celeste, in New York. With him are his wife, Sarah, and their young daughter, Sophia. Alongside them, a crew of 7 experienced seamen, handpicked by Briggs himself. Their mission: a fairly straightforward cargo run. The Mary Celeste was loaded with over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, bound for Genoa, Italy. On November 7th, she set sail across the Atlantic. Spirits were high, weather was favorable, and there was no reason to expect anything out of the ordinary. But a month later, something went horribly wrong. On December 5th, 1872, another ship, the Daygreat, spotted a lone vessel drifting aimlessly about 400 miles east of the Azores. It was the Mary Celeste. The crew of the Daygreat noted that she looked eerily fine. Her sails were partly set, her hull was intact, and she was seaworthy. But there was no one steering her. No crew on deck? Curious and probably unnerved the captain of the day. Radia sent a small party over to investigate. What they found has baffled historians ever since. Inside the Mary Celeste, there was no chaos, no blood, no signs of violence. The ship's cargo was untouched. Food stores were plentiful. Personal belongings, clothes, shoes, even valuables were neatly in place. It didn't look like people had fled in panic. It looked like they had simply vanished. The only things missing were the lifeboat, some navigational instruments, and the ship's papers. But here's where it gets even stranger. Captain Briggs, his wife, his daughter, and the 7 crewmen had left behind their coats, boots, and foul-weather gear. Essential items if you were heading into the open ocean. And yet, they weren't there. Why would experienced sailors abandon a perfectly seaworthy vessel in the middle of the ocean without proper supplies? Over the years, countless theories have tried to answer that question. Some make sense. Others are out there! Let's start with the most popular one. Piracy. People assumed that pirates must have killed or captured everyone on board. But here's the problem. Pirates take cargo. They steal valuables. The Mary Celeste's cargo, worth a fortune, was untouched. So was the crew's money. And there were no signs of violence. For piracy, this was way too clear. Another thing. Mutiny. Maybe the crew turned on Captain Briggs, killed him and his family, and tried to sail off on their own. But again, there were no bloodstains. No signs of struggle. But plus, mutineers don't usually abandon a perfectly good ship with supplies still intact. Then there's the weather. The Atlantic can be brutal. Some suggest a sudden waterspout or giant wave could have terrified the crew into thinking the ship was sinking. In their panic, maybe they abandoned ship in the lifeboat, only to be swallowed by the ocean. But the Mary Celeste was still upright, undamaged, and riding high on the water when she was found. If she'd taken on water, it wasn't enough to justify leaving her behind. Another idea: alcohol fumes. Remember, the cargo was nearly 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. Some of those barrels were found later to be empty, possibly leaking. If fumes had built up, Briggs may have feared an explosion. In desperation, he could have ordered everyone into the lifeboat, planning to trail behind the ship until it was safe to reboard. But if the lifeboat's rope snapped in rough seas, the crew would have been stranded, doomed to drift until the ocean claimed them. That theory, while tragic, might be the most plausible. Of course, with any great mystery, the wilder theories pop up. Some say sea monsters dragged the crew away. Others insist it was aliens. I mean, what's a good mystery without a little extraterrestrial speculation? And then there's the supernatural story spread that the Mary Celeste was cursed at. Anyone who sailed her was doomed, which, to be fair, wasn't helped by her troubled history. Before Briggs took command, the ship had already gone through several accidents and ownership changes. Almost like bad luck followed her. But here's the reality. Despite all the theories, the truth has never been proven. The Mary Celeste herself lived on 4 years after. She changed hands, sailed many more voyages, but never escaped the shadow of that mystery. Eventually, in 1885, she was deliberately wrecked off the coast of Haiti in an insurance scam. Her story, however, was just beginning. Because even today, over 150 years later, we're still talking about her. The Mary Celeste has appeared in books, movies, TV, shows, you name it. Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, even wrote a short story inspired by her, and countless documentaries still revisit the case, searching for answers. But maybe the power of the Mary Celeste lies not in the answer, but in the fact that there is none. A ship found adrift. A crew vanished without a trace. No wreckage, no boaties, no closure. Just questions. Maybe that's why this story endures. Because some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to haunt us. So, what do you think? Was it alcohol fumes? A navigational mistake? Or something stranger? Drop your thoughts in the comment side. Love to hear your theory. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive mystery. Until then, safe travels. And beware the secrets the ocean still keeps.